بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين، سيدنا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا ونور قلوبنا وقرة أعيننا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. نوين تعلم وتعليم وتذكر وتذكير والنفع والانتفاع والإفادة والاستفادة والحث على التمسك بكتاب الله وسنة رسوله صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم، ودعاء إلى الهدى ودللة على الخير ابتغاء وجه الله ومرضاته وقربه وثوابه سبحانه وتعالى، مع لطف وعافية برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم إنا نسألك علما لدني ومشرب صافي الهاني يا وهاب يا غني. اللهم إنا نسألك علما لدني ومشرب صافي الهاني يا وهاب يا غني. اللهم إنا نسألك علما لدني ومشرب صافي الهاني يا وهاب يا غني. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم، والحمد لله رب العالمين. أمين أمين يا رب العالمين. الحمد لله الحمد لله الحمد لله. We're continuing right with our class inshallah, on the book عجلة السباق إلى مكارم الأخلاق, the quest for virtuous character, by Habib Muhammad bin Abdullah al-Haddar, rahimahullah ta'ala, wa nafa'ana Allah bihi wa bi'ulumihi fi ad-darain. By the great scholar of our zaman. This is the father of Hawab Nur, who is the wife of Al-Habib Umar bin Hafiz. Right, so and he is also the Sheikh of Habib Umar bin Hafiz, Habib Muhammad Al-Haddar. Hold on, let me just has this been announced? Let me just see. I need the Nur Insan people to also announce. I know it was supposed to be last Sunday. Let me just announce it. Eh? Okay. I couldn't do it on Sunday. Sunday is just too. I finished school, then I come back. In I come back. When I come back, it's exhausted from school. But today at least it's a bit better. Tamam. Saturday's are a bit better because my classes end by 12:30. So at least I can rest and everything. Okay, alhamdulillah. So I'm gonna keep it on Saturdays, the class Saturdays, 7:30 to 8:30. I also apologize for the timing, like right after Maghrib, because I have class. I have class that I have to rush off at 8:30. I have to rush to pray and go off for my class. So yeah lah. So I apologize lah with all of the with all of the issues regards to the classes. Okay, tamam. Uh, so we are tamam. Okay, we are on the chapter. So if you have the Arabic book, right, we are on درجات المعاصر الأربع. Right, we are on the علامات السعادة ثلاث. As we are on the three signs of the manifestations of virtuous social conduct. Right, so there are four levels of social relations. Right, and then we have which I'm just going to go through quickly from the beginning, right? And then we have the three signs of happiness, right, in a person, and really, mashallah, if a person is, if we can just, always maintain a positivity in ourselves, a happiness in ourselves, this actually will translate into how we treat other people, right? It is really, people who are, they have some form of, negativity or discontentment or unhappiness in themselves that results in them actually mistreating other people, right? So happy people don't actually mistreat other people. People who are just positive in themselves, and they're firm in themselves. They don't go around mistreating other people. And this book it speaks about akhlaq. It speaks about makarim al-akhlaq. It speaks about the quest for noble virtuous character. And that is why, of the traits of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he is the one who is foremost in character of the most perfect character, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? That he's never mistreated anyone, far from it. In fact, he treats everybody in an excellent manner. Right, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And of his traits is that he's the happiest person one could meet. He's the most positive, the most happy person one could meet. And really, being someone negative, being someone, miserable, being someone, always grumpy, being someone always complaining, being someone so, like you pull everybody down and you also end up hurting other people. All right, you end up hurting other people, you end up being, mean to other people, you end up showing bad adab towards other people. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us, inshallah. Ameen. Right. So we are if you're in the Arabic book, we are on that chapter, right? So page 96 in the Arabic book. In the Arabic book, page 96. Right. So the first one, right, so the four levels of social relations, al-ula, right, so وهي أعلاها أو أفضلها, right? So it is so the first one, it is the highest level and the best level, right? In social conduct, and that is that for a person أن يكون المسلم للمسلمين كالغداء أو كالغذاء الذي لا بد للناس منه. Right? For a person to be to other Muslims, for a Muslim to be to other Muslims, or to humanity as a whole, right? Like essential nourishment. And that is where we find our scholars, right? Our scholars, the ulama of this religion, right? The people who are the leaders of the religion, they are essential nutrition for us. That is, if you compare to food, right? They are essential nutrition for us. And this is how actually the words of Imam Ghazali. And this is was Imam Ghazali, taken from, if I'm not wrong, Bitul Hidayah, right? Also in Minhaj al-Abidin is found there. Imam Ghazali has repeated this verse several times in some of his books. Right? So Habib Muhammad al-Haddad, he repeats he's repeating, right, this verse of Imam al-Ghazali. Right? So for those of you who are new to this class, right, we are actually not halfway through the book. We're actually almost halfway through the book. This book was begun quite some time ago, but I kind of left it because I wanted to focus on finishing the Surah Al-Hamiyah. Right, so basically this class, right, the Bless Your Mind class has two books. Right, it has two books. We do two books. Right, so the first book is Tazkirah Hadramiyah, which is the Hadrami reminder for women. And this goes into you will say Fardu Ain, right? It goes into Fardu Ain, it goes into Aqidah, it goes into fiqh, it goes into Tasawwuf, in the Tazkiyah. But together with that book, we're doing this book as well, which is the quest for virtuous character. So we're doing the two books together. But I was trying to focus on finishing the first book. So the left this book for quite some time. I was focusing on the first book, which we finished. When did we finish the first book? We finished the first book quite some time ago. Right, we finished the first book quite some time ago. The book. Right, so I think earlier this year. I don't remember when we finished the first book. Yeah, but yeah. I think it was earlier this year. I finished it earlier this year. Correct. Right. I finished it earlier this year. And then so now we're going to the second book. So we're kind of halfway, not halfway, less than half, right? Through the book. But if you want to actually revise the first few chapters, you can always go to the recordings. They're always online. Right? The recordings are all on my YouTube. It's somewhere there. Tamam. Inshallah, we will try and arrange my YouTube properly to see if it's more, to try and make it more, accessible. Okay, so the first type of right, so the first type of human being, right, is someone who is like nourishment to other human beings, and that is the example of scholar. هذا مثل العالم والعامل الداعي إلى الله تعالى. The one who acts, is a practicing scholar, acts on the religion and calls people to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and these people لا بد منه, لا بد منهم. We need them in our lives because they are the ones who give us direction to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The second group of people, الثانية أن يكون مثل دواء ينفع وقت الحاجة. So the second type of people, they are like medicine, and you need them in times of need. And this will be like the muhsin, مثل muhsin, so like someone who is a good doer, a noble person. They do virtuous deeds. The salihun, right? They come to you when you are in need, right? They go to the muhtajeen, right? They go to those who are in need, those who are sick, those who need help, right? So they come to you, right? When and those who have calamity, right? So all these people, like these are like they're like medicine, right? Whereby they are, mashallah, they are needed in society, yes. Like how medicine is still needed for your body, yes, right? But you don't actually need them all the time. Like, and the reason why, Al Habib, he's going through this with regards to social relations, right, is for you to also understand who are the people that you spend time with, and who are the people that you go for, and every single day, you know, you seek their company. And today in class, during Haraba Aisha's class, she went into a long, discussion, or long kalam, about keeping the company of the righteous, right? Keeping the importance of keeping the company of the righteous, and in constant company of the righteous. If someone were to say, but I don't know who of the righteous I can keep company with every single day, and the answer is very easy. Just pick up their books, right? Pick up the books of the righteous. Right? Pick up right now we're in the zaman of recorded classes, right? In the zaman of the media, right? Of videos, of recordings. You can even keep their, the company by listening to their classes over and over again. You don't have to do it over and over again, but you can go through their classes, one after another, right? And or just pick up their books. Imam Al-Haddad, Imam Ghazali, their books will be you keeping their company. All right. Right. So the people that you need to keep constant company, every single day, you need to have a dose of them. Right, will be the righteous scholars, right? The scholars to give you reminders every single day, about Allah Subhanahu wa Taala and His rights, right, and about the religion, and it remind you about the hereafter. And that is the secret of, like, I mean, also honestly, for myself personally, the secret of the morning classes, like there's Fajr. Whenever Habib Omar is around, when he's not around, right, in Tarim, they always have Dars Fajr continuous. It's a continuous thing every morning. You start off your day, you hear something about the religion, you hear something about the Prophet ﷺ, you hear something about the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over you. You are reminded about why you are on this earth. Every single day, this reminder comes to you, and it is necessary, and it will change your life. Honestly, it will change your life if every single day you begin your day and you hear reminders. Every single day, even if it's half an hour, even if it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes every single day, you spend some time with the scholars. You spend some time with the people of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like those people who call to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's necessary. Right? It is necessary. Right, so here there's the first level of human beings, right, that every single day, you need to spend time with them, right, even if they don't know that you're there, or they don't see you physically, you spend time with them, meaning you're benefiting from them, and that's the best form of relationship that you can have with a person. Now, that is number one. Okay, number two, right, it is that they are like medicine, right? So therefore you need them, when you seek them when you're in need. Right, so there are people who are like that, they come, they cook for you, they serve you, they help you, they help you out, if you when you're going through calamity, when you're going through difficulty, right? And mashallah, this is really, society coming together, like to see, to help each other out. Like, for example, if a person, were to be widowed, if someone were to lose family member, if somebody, were to be sick, bedridden, having all kinds of issues, in themselves, or even, just family problems, having, going through a divorce, or going through, a lot of difficulty, abuse, and so on and so forth. This is human life. As human society, it is life this life on this earth. Right? So there are people who are actually, they're there, like they assist you through these very difficult, times in your life. Right? And they are like medicine. Like you seek them out, like when you are going through difficulty, and there's something wrong with that. Like sometimes I see, you know, um, I'm not sure what this ideology is, but like how people will say, "Oh, you only look for me when you need help." Yeah, I mean, I'll be happy if that's the case, right? You look for me only when you need help. Yeah, I mean that's how it should be, right? Look for me when you need help. I'm happy you do so. I'm happy that you only look for me when you need help. I'm happy you text me when you need like a menstrual question to be answered. I'm okay with that. I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy with that. I don't like chatting for me personally. I don't like to chat. Like so, but I'm happy that if you need help, if you need some questions answered, if you need some assistance, you know who to go to. you know who to go to, who to ask, and so be these people, this kind of these people, because technically as human beings, right? Honestly, as human beings, we have our families, we have our husbands, we have our our children, our parents, like, and already just your direct family occupies you all the time. If you want to give your direct family their rights, you should feel very occupied. You should really feel very occupied if you want to give your direct family their rights. Like, so, subhanAllah, to want to spend time with other people outside of your family, like, you can do so, right? But not regularly. And not regularly, not constantly, because otherwise you do end up neglecting the rights of those who have rights over you, those who are closest to you. Right. So yes, like, there are people out there, right? That is why they are there. Right? They are there to help you, to assist you. That is why they're there. Right? No, mashallah. Right. So number three, the third level of people here, a person is similar to inanimate objects, right? Or animals that do not harm or do not bring forth any benefit, such as a person who has withdrawn from society. So there's a third type of people who really no one cares about them and they don't care about anybody else. Right? So there is this kind of people. They're just there, they're human beings, they're around, they're in society, right? But they don't care about people, and people don't care about them. Right? They kind of stay away from people. They don't help people when they're in need. They're not needed in society really. They don't really form or involved with anyone. And they mind their own business. Let them be. Let them be. Don't try and force them, involved. Right? Of course, with regards to rights, like for example, they have to give the rights of their parents, the rights of their family, their siblings, right? So that's the rahim. There's all rights from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made compulsory on us, right, to establish, right? So we have to serve. Like, but with regards to this, is basically with regards to society as a whole. So not counting people who are the direct family members, but people who are just there in society. Right. So there are people, they don't help you when you're in need. Right? They're not beneficial in any way. They don't say anything. Nor are they harmful. I know are they harmful. They don't go around, slandering or backbiting or lying or cheating. No, they're just people who just live in society. That's all they are, right? They're not going to be someone that you're going to turn to for help. Nor are they going to turn to people for help. They're going to stay by themselves. There's a group of people who are like that. They are like objects. I mean, مثل الجمال والبهائم. لا تضر ولا تنفع. And there is no benefit, no harm with them. وهم يعني الناس اللي they are in usually withdrawn from society, they keep to themselves, and that's fine. They have that right to do. They have that right, actually. They have that right to keep themselves withdrawn if they wish to, with regards to society who are not people who have rights over them. Right? But however, to keep yourself withdrawn from people who have rights over you, like your parents and your direct family members, your children, your siblings, your uncles, your aunties, those who are direct to you, and then there's you who you um, if you now they need some help. Right, so number four, right, is my connection okay? The Zoom will just show us that your connection is not okay after it's not okay. And so while it's not okay, you don't know. Then after that it's not okay, then they inform you that your connection is not okay. But I hope I was heard, inshallah. Number four, right, they are like snakes. And the fourth type of individuals, مثل الحيات والعقارب والسموم. Right? They are damaging. Right? They're like snakes and scorpions and poisonous creatures that inflict harm on Muslims. These are the people who are the most wretched of human beings, and we ask Allah's protection from these people, and we stay far away from them. And we stay far away from them. We don't get involved with them as far as we can. And people who are what? People who they cheat, they slander, right? They backbite, right? They pull us into sins, right? They encourage sins. They spread the spread of sins. Like, these are kind of people we stay far away from them. Right? If they are direct family members, they have a haq of relations, right? They have a right of being your close family member, especially if they are your own parents or they are your own siblings, their own siblings, your own uncles, your own aunties, your own cousins. Like, they are direct family members, they have a right. And what is that right? The right is the second level right. Okay, second level over here. Right? That if they are in need, if they need help, that you be there for them. Okay, that is their right. Right, that is their right. Right, do they have a right that mingle with them in their ma'asiyah, in their sin? No. They don't have that right. You don't have, of course, you don't have to. You don't have to mingle with them in their ma'asiyah, in their sin. And so you can keep a distance, but checking on them, see if they're okay. Of course, try and be the first level kind of person. Whereby you do da'wah to them, you remind them about the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like in that way. But to engage in them in intimacy, in closeness, where condone the evil that they are doing, or you expose yourself to the evil that they are doing, and that is where the line is drawn and you don't enter into that area. Tamam. Okay. Alamatu sa'ada salat. So that the signs of happiness are three. The first one, al-ula ihtimal adal al-muslimin. So the first one, enduring the harmful conduct of other Muslims. Is the first sign of happiness. And why is this a sign of happiness? I mentioned earlier on that people who are happy, they have the best akhlaq. And one of the ways of having great akhlaq, and it is the way of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is to be able to endure abuse from other people, and to be able to endure abuse for other people. And I'm not saying, enduring abuse meaning, just let yourself be battered up and hurt in a terrible way. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that, when they do say stuff about you, like, I'm not saying, physical, or mental abuse that is constant daily. I'm not talking about those things. Those things are separate, and those things are like you need to find help, to find someone to bring you out of the situation. Like you need to really look for proper channels to get out of situations whereby you are being destroyed, or you're being harmed in constantly in that way. And what is being spoken about here in enduring the harmful conduct of other Muslims is something that is not like a daily matter, like a daily routine, like with somebody in the home, and by somebody outside of the home. Like how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he would endure, the behavior of his neighbor, of the Jewish woman, who used to throw rubbish on his path, used to harm him in that way every single day, or also the wife of Abu Lahab, who used to throw thorns in his path, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the constant jeering and the constant mockery of the disbelievers who were in Mecca at that time, and how they would hurt him and they would harm him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, every single day. I saw a sign of someone being happy, right? Of someone being happy, or someone being blissful, is that people can do whatever they want to do to you, right? And you are unaffected. You're unaffected. Honestly, you're unaffected. It doesn't bother you at all because you're happy in yourself. You're happy in yourself, right? So, and it says here, خصوصا الأقربين, right? Especially family members, especially relatives. And when they keep saying stuff about you, they comment on your lives, they comment on your children, they comment on your husband, they comment on every single thing. And there are people who are like that. Today, I was just reflecting on someone that I know, who's, her seriously, her character, she just comments. That's what she does. Just commenting and commenting and commenting and commenting and commenting. And I was wondering, why does she do that? Does she not realize that people avoid her like a plague? Because she keeps commenting on people. Like, do we not realize that, we ourselves don't like people commenting on us, but comment on people, right? Subhanallah. Right. So, but I've seen, this person that particularly know, right? She's, and many people have gone to dislike her because she's always commenting on your looks, commenting on your weight, commenting on your money, commenting on your children, commenting on your family, commenting on your lifestyle, commenting on every single thing in your life. Mashallah, such a person. Right? But a happy person, okay, and happy individual, right? You're not bothered. And you can comment lah all you want, comment on me all you want. I know like you're so firm in yourself. It is liberation, I would say. It is liberation when you are so firm in yourself and so happy in yourself. Like then you're just like, say what you want. Right? It is a form of strength, really. Happiness. Happiness itself is a form of strength, right? Being blissful is a form of strength. You're not affected by the words of people, right? So and part of being happy, part of being blissful, part of being not affected is that you don't actually complain about them to anyone. The sign of you being happy that you're not being affected. Because if you were affected, that's why you're complaining. Right? If someone said something to you about your clothing, about your weight, about your family, about your husband, about your child, about this, and there are people like that. and they exist, and they will always exist. They will always be there, and you can't force them to not be like that. Right? You can't make them like, can you stop commenting on people? Can you stop, slandering people? Can you stop backbiting? Can you stop, can you stop spreading stories between people and making them fight? Can you stop, there are people who, they will always be that. You can try and advise them if you want them, you love them, right? You want to advise them, right? But there are people who they just have a knack for it. Allahu alam what it is. Right? But those who are blissful, you can be exposed to this all you want. And all can be exposed to for all it is, right? And you're not affected. Honestly, you're not affected. And that is strength, that is strength. And even if this person is within your household, with close in your close proximity, even if this person is your very own parent, right? Even if this person is your very own spouse, if you are firm in yourself, if you are, firm and happy in yourself, they can say what they want to say, and you're not affected. You're okay. You're fine. And this actually will lead you to having higher character that you won't seek to, in a sense, do it back on them. You won't seek retribution. You won't seek to want to say something to them to hurt them back. You won't seek to, be grumpy around them, or you won't seek to be miserable around them. No, you won't allow yourself to be miserable around them. You're in charge of your life. You're in charge of your emotions. You're in charge of yourself. Right? Be in charge. Right? So if you are happy in yourself and you are firm in yourself, right? And that man, this book is such an amazing book, mashallah. It is an amazing book. Habib Muhammad Al-Haddad is an amazing person, mashallah. And these people, they know exactly the formula of life that we in the first world countries, like in Singapore, in the West, like in so-called first world countries, we don't understand life. We don't understand life, we don't understand people, we don't understand relationships, we don't understand a lot of things. Which is why we are in the ruts that we are in. And we get so bothered and so affected and so run down and so this and so that, and we keep complaining and complaining and complaining about everybody around us, right? And it's true, the complaints. It could be true, the complaints, the abuse and whatever, right? But subhanAllah, we've met people here in Tari, and I've met people here. And they are human beings too, and they have family too, and they go through the same problems too. And they're all on the same earth, they're all in the same world, they all have the same issues, the same shaitans bothering them. Right? It's the same story, right? But they're handling life way better. They're literally handling life way better. Why? Because they have this kind of principles, this kind of peace around them, guiding them. Be firm in yourself. Be happy. Sign of happiness, of true happiness. And someone could say, "Oh, I'm happy. I'm happy." No, no. If you keep complaining about what's going on around you, you're not really a happy person. If you are so easily affected by the words of people, you're not a happy. You're not a happy person. Right? You're not a happy person if you're so easily affected. And how can you be a happy person if you're so easily affected? You're like this, very, unsteady, like this piece of paper in the wind that you float wherever the wind blows you. Right? So if the wind blows you high, you're on a high. If it blows you low, you're on a low. You're not firm at all in the way you are, and you'll not find happiness if you don't know how to be firm in the way you are. You don't know how to be firm, right? Find firmness in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I find firmness in focusing on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Find firmness in striving in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Understand that. And if you can understand that, you will be so incredibly happy. Mashallah, and this will be so firm in this world. And everything, and not to say that you will not be afflicted by calamity. Yes, there'll be calamity. It's dunya. Dunya is meant to have calamity. Dunya is created for calamity. Right? There will be calamity, yes. We're not saying that you will not find hurt. It's different, right? Happiness, the opposite is misery, right? The opposite of happiness is not hurt. The opposite of happiness is misery. And misery is a choice. Misery is actually a choice. Right? Pain is inevitable. Right? Pain hurts. That's the way of the dunya. That is inevitable. Right? Pain, hurt, being betrayed, being slandered, and you feel the pain of it. Right? You feel the pain of it. That is inevitable. That is part of dunya. Right? The feel of that you lose your family members, you lose your children, you lose your husband, you lose your parents. Loss is part of life, right? That is pain. But misery is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle choice. Misery. To choose to be miserable, right? It's a lifestyle choice. Someone could be going through a lot of pain in their life, right? But they are the happiest people. And the prime example, our Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He went through so much pain, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, with the loss of his father before he was born an orphan, loss of his mother, loss of his grandfather, loss of his uncle, loss of his companions, loss of his wife, loss of his sons, loss of every one of his children before he passed away, except Sayyidah Fatima Zahra. Like Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he went through like every pain a person would go through in this life, and yet he was the happiest of human beings. Right? So pain does not equate misery. Right? Pain is just part of life. Misery is a lifestyle that you choose, right? And happiness is a lifestyle that you choose. You choose it. You actually choose it. You choose to let things go. You choose to not be bothered. You choose to not let it get into your heart. You choose to not let the words of someone ring in your head. You don't let them stay in your head rent free, right? You throw it out. It's your sanity, it's your emotions, it's your life. And all of this, right? If you can get it right, it will translate into you having excellent character towards other people because you don't harbor anything negative. It's amazing, it's really it's so profound, Habib, mashallah. And Habib is profound. It's so profound, mashallah, how he identifies that you being happy in yourself will lead to you being a human being who's going to treat others well. You get it, mashallah. And people who go around hurting other people, they are actually miserable in themselves. Right? They are miserable in themselves because they go around and their misery is showing in their treatment of other people. Subhanallah. So the first sign of happiness enduring the harmful conduct of other Muslims, especially family members and relatives. Right? So enduring it and not complaining about it to anyone, or not complaining about them to anyone, and it's your choice. It is your choice to not be affected by the harmful conduct of these people. Of course, if there is danger to your life, to yourself, then it is part of our religion to protect yourself. Right? It is a law in our religion to not expose yourself to what would destroy you. So if something is threatening your life, right? You need to get out of the situation and protect yourself and your family. Tamam. ثانية, right? So the second one, right? Two, refraining from ill-treating other Muslims, right? Harming them, not responding to evil, and they actually fall up the first sign. Right? So if you're hanging yourself, you won't see any need to kill anyone. You won't see any need, right, to harm anyone in any way, right? So there is no ill treatment of anyone if you're happy. If you're happy, you won't be going around trying to slander someone, trying to run someone down, trying to, hurt someone. You won't be looking at that, right? You won't be going around doing that, subhanAllah. So number two is refraining from ill-treating other Muslims, by not harming them and not responding to evil, right, with evil. And subhanAllah, these are all like that really beautiful, you say, formula of how do you live life. Right? So if you can just be firm in yourself, strong in yourself, in your mentality, in your heart, control it. Right? Really, if you ask the question, how do I reach this? How do I reach a level of not being of not being affected by the words of other people? How do I reach that? And the answer is simple: practice. That's the answer. Practice. You got to practice not being affected. You got to practice. And the more you practice, the better you get at it. And of course, the best way also is to immerse yourself in ibadah, to immerse yourself in zikr, to immerse yourself in ibadah, immerse yourself in Quran, busy yourself. That you don't have time to be upset about what someone said. Okay. And if your mind goes into these conversations that you have with people and what they have said to you and what they have said and what they have and the comments they have made on you and whatever and whatnot, right? Stop yourself. Stop it. Imam al-Ghazali speaks about this in the Ihya Ulumuddin of what destroys a human being is the self-conversations that they have in their heads, right? That is based on their displeasure with someone, the self-conversations. And I must admit, I myself have it. I think we all have it. That things happen around you. People say stuff about you, about your family, about your children, right? And you're so upset, by what they said, and you run these conversations in your head, right? And you keep running it, and you keep saying, "Yeah, if only I could have said this, I could have said that, I could have said this, I could have said that," and you're killing yourself. You're doing nothing but killing yourself. But just having I can't remember what was the word Imam Ghazali used, but he does talk about this constant self-talk that is negative, very negative self-talk. Whereby you play over and over and over and over negativity in your life makes you a very resentful person. Tamam. Right. So stop that. Stop that. So sometimes ever since I learned from Imam Ghazali, ever since I learned that from Imam Ghazali, I've been catching myself doing it. I catch myself, oh, I'm running stuff in my head. Oh, I'm running stuff in my head. Oh, I should stop doing that. I should stop doing that. And like you prolong trauma, you prolong abuse, you prolong, negative emotions by doing that. And you're the one doing it to yourself. You're the one doing it to yourself. I feel like we're doing some psychology, course, but this is exactly what it is. Tasawwuf is psychology. Tasawwuf is right there in our religion, right? Tasawwuf. This is tasawwuf. This is basically tasawwuf. This is purification of the self, right? And our religion has this at its core because when someone's not well in themselves, when they have diseases of the heart, this will translate into bad behavior. And bad behavior is punishable. And bad behavior can destroy your good deeds. Right. So you can understand like how all of this ties in. And it is core in our religion to learn this science. It's actually core in our religion to learn this science, to know how to handle the people around you and to know how to handle yourself, you yourself. So from today onwards, if you find yourself replaying conversations, negative conversations, you find yourself replaying negative conversations, which is why for me personally, right? If I have like, a form of an argument on my WhatsApp, and I know many of us, we get it. You might be arguing with someone, maybe speaking to someone, it's all very negative, right? There's argument going back and forth. For me, if this happens, right? The first thing I do there and then, I delete the message thread. It was I clear all messages. Why do I do that? I do that to stop myself from rereading it. To stop myself from rereading it and replaying and re-experiencing the negative emotions that come with it. You get me? And I know people that is sickness, they keep it. They screenshot, right? If someone was rude to them, they screenshot, they spread to everybody, and they keep it in their phones. They keep negativity in their phones. It's sick. You realize that it's sick, and you're only harming your own self, nobody else. You're only harming your own self. And I get surprised when people, they show me messages from months ago, like years ago, months ago, and they kept it. Why do you keep negativity? Why do you keep negativity? Right? If someone made you unhappy, delete the unhappy messages. Delete it. Right? Why you keep it? Why you want to replay being unhappy? You like being unhappy. Is your hobby to be unhappy. Enjoyable to be unhappy, to be triggered off. You love it, right? Subhanallah, choose your happiness. Choose to be positive, yani. Right? So, people who do that, that's just like a physical form. It's a physical form of self-abuse, right? Whereby you actually keep all this negative stuff for you to read over and over again, to get yourself moked up over and over again. Why do you do so? I don't know. I don't know. Right. The second level is in your head, right? Because it's a memory. It's a memory in your head. You replay the conversation over and over again in your head, right? And you get worked up every single time. You get upset every single time, right? So you need to stop doing that as well, right? So when you stop doing that, you'll be happy in yourself, and you will not be treating other people, in a bad way. So refraining from ill-treating other Muslims by not harming them and not responding to evil with evil. And shaitan makes you respond to evil with evil by making you replay that evil in your head over and over again, until you want to seek retribution, right? Until you actually want to hurt that person as how they have hurt you. And that is not the way of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Tamam. Okay, understand, eh? That's number two, eh? Okay, so then number three, right? So hadi salat So number three, الإحسان إلى المسيئين وإلى المحسنين. I to be good, I to have moral excellence to those who treat us badly and treat us virtuously. So there is no difference to us whether someone has treated us and our family badly or treat us, virtuously. We still treat them well. All right. So no matter what it is, you still treat them well. There's number three. All right. So the first one is to bear with the harm from other people. Number two is you yourself don't harm them and you don't, respond to evil with evil. Number three, right? You treat people with excellence no matter what they are and no matter who they are. Right? But you speak to treat them with excellence. Right? فهذه ثلاث من أخلاق النبيين right? وصحابهم من أهل الحظ العظيم. And this is from this and these three akhlaq that we just pointed out, right, is from the akhlaq of prophets and those who share them in their virtue. Right. So as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, ولا تستوي الحسنة ولا السيئة ادفع بالتي هي أحسن فإذا الذي بينك وبينه عداوة كأنه ولي حميم وما يلقاها إلا الذين صبروا وما يلقاها إلا ذو حظ عظيم. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says also, Allah ta'ala, وَسَارِعْ and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says, وسارعوا إلى مغفرة من ربكم وجنة عرضها السماوات والأرض أعدت للمتقين الذين ينفقون في السراء والضراء والكاظمين الغيظ والعافين عن الناس والله يحب المحسنين. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the first verse we just read just now, in Surah Fussilat, verse 40, verse 34 and 35, where he said, subhanahu wa ta'ala, they are not equal, right? The good deed and the bad deed. It's not the same, right? You do good deed because you are commanded on good deeds. That is why retribution has no place. And there's no place for retribution for the one who wants to strive to walk the higher road of high character. There's the word retribution, there's no meaning to that. The word retribution is not a word to be taken, and not a word to be applied. Right? While retribution is allowed in the Sharia of Islam, yes, retribution. Right? To eye for an eye, nose for a nose, ear for an ear, life for a life is something in the Sharia of Islam. Allah always calls us to forgiveness. He always calls us to forgiveness. You're allowed to take retribution, but exact retribution, yes. But that is not ihsan. That is just Sharia. Like if you want to go the bare minimum of it and you really want to, hit someone where they hurt you, you want to hit them back, you're allowed that in Islam, you're allowed that as fairness under the banner of fairness. But under the banner of ihsan, of excellence, I take the high road of forgiveness. Now, so repel evil with a deed which is better. Right? If someone does evil to you, do good. Right? idfa' billati hiya ahsan. Right? So someone been rude to you, someone slandered you, right? Someone backbite you, someone treated you in the worst manner. Treat that person in the best manner. Push yourself, strive against your nafs. This is high character. It's high character. And when you do so, Allah tells us in the Quran, when you do so, right, then this person, the one with whom you have some animosity with, or you have some enmity with, this person, they'll become a close devoted friend if you take this path of always responding to negativity with positivity. And this is just for you. And you know what? You know what? When you do this, you're doing yourself a favor. You're actually doing yourself a favor by responding to negative behavior with positive behavior. Right? You're giving yourself sanity. You're giving yourself happiness when you do it this way. But when you keep seeking retribution and you keep being disgruntled and unhappy and hurt about something, you're just harming yourself. Right? You see how this works, right? You see how this works, right? It's really in your hands. You're gonna decide yourself. Right? But none is granted it except those who are patient. I mean, be constant on this. Don't think that one, two times you're gonna be good to someone, they're gonna love you. No, There are people that you're gonna be good to them, for years and years and years, right? Years of going through, trying to respond to their evil with goodness. And you might not even reach any position whereby they'll be good to you eventually anyway. They might just stay in their evil, and that is harmful for themselves. It's hurting their own selves, right? But you stick to it. So if you really want, right, the positivity in your life, you're gonna keep to this positive behavior, right? In always responding to evil with goodness. My action on this, right? So none is granted except for those who are patient, and none is granted it except the one having a great portion. And the great portion here that is referred to is good akhlaq. Is makarim al akhlaq. Because it is the heaviest thing on the scale on the day of judgment. Right? So the one who, if you're constant on this, then you will be granted eventually. You will develop in yourself great character. That's why this book is a quest for virtuous character. How do you train yourself? How do you push yourself? And how do you practice good character in yourself? So here there are three rules, right? First and foremost, bear with the harm of people. Secondly, don't you be someone who harms people. Thirdly, go over, and beyond yourself and treat people in the best manner. And this is our religion. This is Islam. This is exactly Islam. Now, right, so in the next verse, right, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and rush to the forgiveness of your Lord and paradise, whereby its expansiveness is the heavens and the earth. This has been prepared for those who are righteous, who are pious, who have taqwa. And Allah says, and spend like in difficulty and in ease, and restrain anger while hold your rage, restrain your anger. وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ and forgive people. That is the way you live your life. Forgive people. And Allah loves those who are good. Those who are doers of good. Subhanallah. Right, so right, so this is of the path, right? In seek in quest, right? In seeking virtuous character. Then we move to the next chapter. I feel I do know the entire book all over again. Hmm. I mean, mashallah, the book is like I feel like we've left it for so long that we need to, get to the beginning and do and reset the entire book. Right? But I don't know whether we should do that or not. But we've been doing the book for quite some time. I'll see how. Should we start? Should we restart the book? What do you all think? Or should we just continue? Should we do like a poll? I feel like I need to, add on to the first part. Should we restart or should we just continue? Just continue the book or how? Continue the book don't restart Okay, we continue the book. Okay, so okay, restart or continue. Like it will be beneficial to restart it. Yani, Allahu A'lam. Yani, okay, I'll think I'll istikhara. Istikhara. You all want to restart also. Okay, now everybody's saying restart. Kaida, you're outnumbered. Kaida was like continue. Then now everybody say restart. Tamam. Okay, how? I mean, it's always good to restart. I mean, in the sense that remind the benefits and to do the same book over and over again. It is like because for us, right, personally for me, when I learned this book, and not just this book, but any book, when you learn it, every single time you study it, something else speaks to you. Like every single time you do a book over and over again. Like for example, one of the books that I love doing over and over again is the Book of Assistance. Right? The Book of Assistance, oh yeah Allah, no matter how many times you've done that book, every single time feels like it's the first time that you've done that book. And this book, The Quest for Virtuous Character, right? Every single time I read it, every single time I go through it, every single time I learn it, I feel like it's the first time I'm doing this. And I feel like I'm not applying anything in here. Ya Allah, may Allah forgive us. But I really feel like, it's like I feel like I need to do it again to make myself apply the stuff in here. So Risa, okay, I'm inclined towards restarting. Okay, I feel like I'm not connecting to the first part of the book. I feel like I'm not connecting to the first part of the book. I feel like I'm just taking it from halfway through. Okay, we should restart. You all have the book or not? You all have the English book. I have the Arabic book with me, and I'm reading from the Arabic book, right? But it's and I love this book. It's one of my most favorite books. This one, this book by Habib Muhammad Al Haddad. One of my most favorite. I would say this book is like an essential, like a household essential. Every household should have this book, like in your, you know that you should have like a where you have your dining, not dining, you have your living room, maybe like a small coffee table, right? So this is one of those books that should be always there, right? So whoever comes to your house, right, like let them just flip through this book and read anything from this book. It's like you say, this book, right? It is core nourishment. It is exactly the first type of human beings, core nourishment. You need to read this stuff every single day. Subhanallah. Okay, so we are resuming it. Hey, wait, restarting it. MashaAllah. Okay, now it is um, 8:30 in Singapore. I have to go off by 8. I have to print off soon. Okay, you will start. Let's restart our book. Okay, but before I restart, okay, any questions? I think I'll restart the next lesson lah. Okay, because today I begin halfway there and now I'm thinking that I should restart the entire thing. Okay, next lesson I'll restart inshallah. So at least we can at least start a full playlist. Right? We can do like a full complete playlist. So I know this book I mixed it with another book. It's all over the place. Ya Allah. Right, so I know it's all mixed up. It's all mixed up. Right. So any questions? Since you have a bit of time. I'm going to restart it in next lesson, inshallah. So you all have 1 week to try and buy this book. I'm not sure if they sell it at Wardah. Did they sell it at Wardah? Not sure. But I'm not sure where they sell it. Right. Any questions with regards to, and then next week I will start from the beginning, inshallah. Right. So the 3 points, right? The 3 points on blissful people, right? So what makes someone blissful? First and foremost, the person what makes someone blissful, first and foremost, someone who bears with the harm of other people. That's the first one. Mm. Right? Someone who bears with the harm of other people. Secondly, someone who does not think to harm other people. Like you're happy when you don't think to like, I should have said this to her, I should have said that to her, and how could she say this to me? And like, and you know what, you come to the second position if you have the first position. Like if you are affected by people's harm on you, then you feel that you want to harm them. If you're unaffected by their harm, it won't come to your mind to want to harm them. You get it, right? And then you can push yourself further because you're so happy in yourself that you want to be happy for everybody and you want to bring happiness to everybody, right? And then you become someone to spread goodness to other people. They all three come together. They all three come together. And it starts off from you being firm in yourself and not being affected by other people. And how much we need these lessons, how much we need to sit with Habib Muhammad Al Haddad and learn from him and take on his akhlaq. We mentioned a few stories about Habib Muhammad and his beautiful character. Beautiful, beautiful character, Habib Muhammad Al Haddad. I think last week I shared on my status, my WhatsApp status, about Habib Muhammad being someone who, he saw a blind cat once, and he carried the cat home and he'll feed the cat by his hand. Every single day he'll feed the cat, by his hand. And when he traveled, he would always call his family and he would ask the family, how's the cat? How's the cat? Like he would really, look after, subhanAllah. Right? And this is how he treats animals. Can you imagine how he treats human beings? Subhanallah. Like these are people, they are happy in themselves. And their happiness, it suits from them. Their happiness overflows onto people around them. And that is why, so Zainab, my teacher, like here's the Khatib, she once said to me long years ago, and I always remember her advice when I asked her for advice on da'wah, what do you advise me, Ustada, in regards to da'wah? And she said, be a full cup. And I said, what do you mean by be a full cup? You always need to be an empty cup, right? Be a full cup. I said, be a full cup. What do you mean? She said, be a full cup of goodness. Like, be a full cup of goodness, like of love, of happiness, of positivity. Be a full cup of iman, of aqidah. Be a full cup of obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Be a full cup of love for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why? Because if you're a full cup, wherever you go, you will spill, right? you will spill these traits onto other people. Right? So you be full of these good traits in yourself. So wherever you go, it will spill out onto other people. It will rub off onto other people. Right? Subhanallah. I mean, I will say that me going through this book, I'm far from the idea from the advice here, very far from the advice here, and I am in amazement of the people who actually are able to establish this in their lives. Our teachers, the habaib, the hababas, they actually establish this in their lives. You're in full blown amazement of them. That is exactly the akhlaq of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. That is what we're trying to aim towards, right? So, inshallah, I'll restart the book with intention to really apply this to myself, because today's lesson hit me very hard because I'm not applying it, and I need to apply it, right? So this lesson itself hit me very hard. I'm not applying this lesson, this three signs of happiness, right? And I know it, but I'm not applying it, right? So, and this is what character is, right? It is a very high ground. It is a very no one has ever said it's going to be easy, right? But if you can get it, oh ya Allah, oh ya Allah, you have gotten life. You have understood this dunya, and you have understood how to traverse this very temporary life in the best way possible for yourself and those around you. If you can get it, subhanallah. Right. So complaining to Allah is perfectly fine. Right? But don't keep harping on it, because you keep harping on it, right? This is why we see the statement, أُفَوِّضُ أَمْرِ إِلَى اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ بَصِيرٌ بِالْعِبَادِ. It's one of the most beautiful statements to say every single day, in the morning, in the evening. أُفَوِّضُ أَمْرِ إِلَى اللَّهِ. I entrust my matter to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِنَّ اللَّهَ بَصِيرٌ بِالْعِبَادِ. Allah sees his servants. So yes, you can complain when it's really hurting. You complain to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, He is the one that you turn to, yes. But don't harp on it, because harping on it, staying with it, you're just hurting yourself. You get it? You need to dismiss it. You need to dismiss it from your heart. Don't allow it to stay in your heart. Dismiss it from your heart. Okay? Right? Because the more you keep keeping on it, right, the more you're hurting yourself. All right. So, inshallah, okay, we're gonna do the book again, because I feel like in Tarim it feels different doing this book. I was doing this book in Singapore, right? But I think in Tarim it feels different. Okay, alhamdulillah. Inshallah next week we'll restart the book, okay? Restart the book. Next week I think I'll put out a message with Nur Insan to see them when we restart the entire book. Inshallah. Barakallahu fikum. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحة. أن الله يرزقنا علما نافعا وعملا خاصا عليم بالهدى ويسر به وبنبي محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم وإلى أرواح معلمينا ومشايخنا وذوي الحق علينا وإلى حضرة النبي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. الفاتحة. سورة الذين أنعمت عليهم. So Reggie, just make a new playlist lah. Make a new playlist, inshallah. Okay, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.